Demetra K, and I'm sitting here with Donovan. His heart don't pump no Kool-Aid D. And this is our Sunday edition of the Demetra K Show. Yes, Nancy, it is an Indian summer. It's very hot.
What do you mean Indian summer? You mean an Indian fall?
Indian something, okay? Anyway, I don't know how long this afro is going to last, but we're going to see. So anyway.
And I like that because you got the Michael Jackson, Triumph album. Yeah, the tilt kind of just before throw the drum jumped off.
Right. So anyway, thank you guys on Facebook for being here. Thank you to Marcus Guyton for doing everything he does behind the scenes. And also thank you to the podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Spotify.
Tumblr.
Did I say Podbeam already? Tumblr. Also to YouTube. You guys will see this video in its full glory. For you guys on Facebook, you are seeing our green screen that we have here. And so we'll go ahead and get...
Look at Romeo talking about Hotep, y'all.
Yes. Hey, Arson, how are
Beautiful
you?
Family, Romeo. Beautiful family.
Absolutely.
So I'm on Facebook.
And hello to everybody who's on here. And as always, we're going to get to every last one of your comments. And also, if you are on the watch parties that are going forth, I can't see your comments over there. But if you come over here and comment, I will be able to see your comment. And I promise I will address your comment, question, or concern as I do with everybody. And so I'll go ahead and get started here. So, as always, on the Demetra K Show, the purpose is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people. So, last couple of weeks or so, I would say, have you been seeing any articles or anything about people, Black people, specifically Black women and girls missing?
Very few and far between. But
really?
But there have been some depending on what platform you're going up to.
I mean, I've seen it quite a bit, and so I'll go ahead and get started.
Wait. Before you start, I want to say my cousin Audrey, she's going on a trip to Australia. Be careful out there. Not that it's a bad place, but you're a long way from home.
Be careful, Audrey. Hey, Michelle, thank you so much. That's my cousin. So anyway, our topic today is Black and missing. What's happening to our people? Now, lately, as I scroll up and down my Facebook timeline, I have seen a plethora of posts talking about missing Black people. Now, admittedly, I have seen more posts talking about missing Black women and girls. In fact, I read an article that said roughly 64,000 Black women and girls have been reported missing nationwide since 2014. Now, but the truth of the matter is Black boys and Black men are missing too. Unfortunately, all I can find on Black men and Black boys missing was them being missing due to death or being incarcerated. Mm-hmm. So I really couldn't find a whole lot of numbers and statistics that says this is how many Black men and boys are missing. Although I have heard that is probably just as many Black boys and men missing as there are Black women and girls, right? Okay. All right, now, so I never did find a direct answer. A report that was done in 2014 by the FBI's National Crime Information Center said Black Americans accounted for roughly 226,000 of missing persons reported in 2012. Out of all the missing persons, Black people make up about 34% of the people that's missing. Now, that's a lot. Now, keeping in mind that we make up about 13 to 14% of the population. In 2013, 37% of Black people that were missing are minors and 27% are adults or were adults. I guess are or were, depending on how you look at it. Only 1/5 of the cases are covered on the national news of Black people. So we don't get a lot of coverage for a whole host of reasons. It is said that many who are reported missing, many of the Black people who are reported missing are dismissed as runaways or missing due to their own accord, like they just took off, hey.
Or they don't want to be found.
Yeah, I'm not telling anybody I'm leaving, right. I'm just out of here, right? Now, missing white woman syndrome is known as one of the reasons that the plight of missing Black women and girls do not get national news attention it deserves. Basically, more attention is paid to the missing white women than anyone else. You guys heard of Lacey Peterson and Chandra Levy, all these other white women, Natalie Holloway's. You've seen the coverage on every news channel. Right. Nancy Grace, everybody covered these white women, but you don't hear a lot about Black. You get like a little bleep. you know, or a little blip rather of this black person is missing. Okay, keep an eye out. Next, you know, like seriously. So why? It's because their people, they being the white women, own the means of media.
Okay.
They own a lot of media, so they're going to talk about their things. Now, sex trafficking. It is reported by the FBI that 40% of victims that are sex trafficked are African Americans. Black women and girls are sex trafficked more than anyone else. And it is said that most of the kidnappers of American sex traffic victims are black men. Now, I don't know how true that is. It's just what I read. So I'll repeat that again, that most of the kidnappers are black men that kidnap people into or snatch people into the sex trafficking trade.
Oh, so it's like a Harriet thing.
That's just what I read. I don't know how true it is. So, you know, don't quote me. It's just what I read, right? Now, and the buyers of sex trafficking services are affluent, married, educated, what?
White men.
White men.
Wow, Robert Kraft, NFL owner, all these people who have...
Because they have the money,
right.
They have the means, right? Now, sex trafficking is estimated to be a $290 million a year industry, and that the pimps take home anywhere from $5,000 to $32,000 per week. Okay, that's a lot of money. Don't get no ideas, okay? Now, with that being said, one can see why people are being snatched in traffic at such alarming rates. Now, it is a very lucrative industry, to say the least. Mm-hmm. I think it needs needs to have light shed on it, where I think it also sheds a lot of light on why is what I'm trying to say. Can't read my own writing. Black women and girls are missing, right? Because there's a lot of money in the industry. We need product. The product is the body, so we snatched them up.
Yeah, one thing that's always going to sell.
Unfortunately. And don't get it twisted. Black men and black boys get snatched up into the sex trafficking industry too, okay? Now, the other theory is that black people are missing at alarming rates due to organ harvesting. Now, that's when people are kidnapped and have their organs removed to save the life of people who can afford to pay for the organs on the black market, but for whatever reason can't get...
Or they're on a list that's almost impossible for them to get to the top.
So they can't get it on legal means because the list is too long or whatever.
And
maybe they're a drunk and they, don't normally give livers out to people who have drinking issues, and so they got money. I need a liver.
Right.
Go snatch one off the street for me, okay? Now, I'm still researching that angle, so I don't have a lot of information on the organ harvesting. So, for now, let's come up with ways of stopping our people from being snatched up wholesale. And I will get to you guys' comments. So, Donovan, you have anything to add to that?
Well, somebody had told me about how they do not agree with the fact that black women aren't protected, right? And so I had to tell them, I said, wait a minute. They were holding men accountable, which they should. Black men should be held accountable. I'm wholeheartedly for that. Mm-hmm. However, she wasn't looking at the fact that I can't protect a woman that doesn't want to be protected or follow my direction. And I used the example of that nail salon of that brother that knocked in the nail salon, and the next day they were in there getting their nails done. This guy caught a case trying to protect black women. It's like, you know what? If you don't want to protect...
So let me ask you this before I get to these comments. Do you think that... So he's talking about the woman with the owner of... And there's been a lot of them, but this particular one, the owner beat her up or something. And the brothers was out there boycotting, trying to...
No, I'm talking about that Muhammad guy from Chicago.
I'm thinking of another one.
Yeah, see, he threw the brick.
Right, so he's talking about the brother, Tyrone Muhammad. He threw the brick through the window, I think it's in Chicago. Mm-hmm. And then the women were went back into the shop with the shop boarding up and everything. And, they didn't care that this man was trying to fight for him. So, but let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. Do you think those women are the exception? Or do you think they're like the majority of black women?
I think it's the majority now.
Really?
Yes, because... And the reason,
what say you guys?
Wait, and the reason I say that is because black women have bought into the narrative, I don't need no man to tell me this and tell me that. And again... they say, oh, well, look at Hillary, and, we're the backbone of the Democratic Party. We're this and we're that. They bought into that stuff, which is fine. You can do whatever you want to do. But 70% of white women are married. 70% of y'all ain't.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys, do you guys agree with Donovan that the majority of black women do not want to be protected per se? And Tay says, hey, D&D. She says, your fro is gorgeous. Thank you so much. And hello to everybody on there. Nancy, I saw that. It said Indian Summer. And Arson, what's up? And let's see. I got some of those comments. Michelle says, yes, I have been seeing and hearing about African-American females missing lately. Social media plays a big part. They trust who's online absolutely too much. And that's another thing, too.
Did you read that article, that 15-year-old girl? She got chopped up or something, meeting somebody online or something.
I've seen quite a few. And Michelle, you make a good point that a lot of people do, or they are too trusting with meeting people online. And to your point, Donovan, I have seen a lot of articles where women and even men have gotten setting up. They've gone to meet somebody online, and then it turns out that they end up getting murdered or they're missing. And even men go meet a woman online, and she and her
boyfriend and they jump her,
and all of that. And so yes, online social media, we got to be very careful because you don't know who's on the other side of the keyboard. And Tay says, "Wow, that's a lot of missing black people with little to no news coverage. What a damn shame that Keisha doesn't matter as much as Karen." And it's just the truth, but. We know, as Dr. Claude Anderson talks about a lot, because black people own less than 3% of the media. We don't own a lot of outlets to talk about that all the time.
And Byron Allen's trying to change that.
Byron Allen is trying to change that, and we can change that. And I would say, admittedly, like I said, on my timeline, I have seen a lot of people highlight the missing all over the country. So those of us who have social media outlets, we should be using that to highlight the missing in our community, opposed to a lot of the other nonsense we talk about on a regular basis. But, owning the media is definitely going to help us, because we can talk about our stories and our missing more. I was doing some research on this yesterday, and I saw quite a few stories of black people. Like one lady, her daughter's been missing for 10 years. Yeah, she was at a party, just came up missing, and they just dismissed it as a runaway. And she's like, there's no way my daughter ran away and did not come back or say hey or anything like that for 10 years. My daughter is gone under mysterious and foul play circumstances, but they're like, whatever. And so Al says, speaking of missing, is it safe to say that a black wedding reception, the gift table looks a lot like a lost and found? You stupid. No, anyway, Nancy, it says, true, 2 years ago, I put an African-American female, 20, from Las Vegas, put her on a Greyhound. Some Arab guys put her in a hotel on University to have sex with them, sent her home. Yes, and that's a lot of it, too, with the sex trafficking industry. A friend of mine said that a lady came to their church, and she was in the sex trafficking industry, came to their church and gave them the rundown. And she says, one thing to look for, if somebody comes up to you and says, hey, what time is it? She says, run, because you're probably going to be sex trafficked, because in today's day and age, everybody has a phone, a watch or something. Yeah. So to have somebody ask you what time it is.
That's a thing to see if you're susceptible to being approached. Or
if you're just caught off guard, which a lot of us probably would be. Somebody said, hey, what time is it? Always, you're gone, but how many of us are doing this all the time when we're walking? We're out in public, we're scrolling, and I see people all the time. It's like, gosh, you could be walking into a van.
I constantly tell my nephews and my nieces when they were younger, whatever it is, you've got to be aware of your situational awareness around you. You can't be walking.
A lot of people aren't anymore. They're just oblivious to everything that's going around. Hey, Charlie, and he says Donovan is right. So he agrees with you that you agree that most black women don't want to be protected. Nope. Okay, and Arson
ain't says, no man gonna tell me what to do. I don't need no man.
Arson says 34% of black people are missing people are black. Now, lack of coverage would not be as big as an issue if we managed to own at least one single television station, right? Several people tried, didn't they? But Oprah has one. I don't know what she does.
But Oprah ain't doing nothing for no black people.
I mean, I don't know, because I don't have TV, so I don't know.
Let me give you a history lesson real quick for everybody. A lot of us are too young to remember this, but, my grandfather's still alive. There's some of us that are still around. At one time, the second oldest media outlet, black outlet, was right here in San Bernardino. Yeah. Do you guys realize, during World War II, before that, FDR would talk to the white networks and the news and stuff like that. Then he would talk to the black networks. I mean, there was all kinds of media that, black people, we didn't go and we didn't read the white newspaper. We read the black newspapers.
Right.
And of course, as time goes on. So we've
we've sold out, bought in, if you will. But yes, there are several black networks, but I don't know what they do. I mean, so I can't say that they don't do it, but it'd be nice if we did it more often. 64,000 missing people, black women and girls is a lot of people missing. Okay. Hey, Dee Dee. And Charlie says a black woman will say so quick. I don't need no man, and especially no broke nigga.
Knowing she ain't got no money in her pocket, her damn self. Look, we both on the bus stop.
Okay.
What you talking about?
Phil, it says, I agree with him. You can't tell a woman nothing but a compliment. Wow.
But even giving him a compliment. I was at the dollar store today, and the woman gave me the change, and I noticed her nails. And I said, I really like your nails.
Okay, but let me just say this. Because I don't want us to get distracted. that even if... Because I personally don't believe most black women don't want to be protected. I don't believe that.
Of course, because you're a woman.
No.
Of course.
Because I don't believe that's true.
Take it from a man's perspective.
I would say, well, I'm a black woman and I want to be protected. All the black women I know, I've never heard them say, I don't need no man to look out for. I've never heard no black woman that I personally know say that. But
well, Dee, when you're in a meeting of dead presidents.
But I want to say this though, because I don't want everybody. I don't want it to get
distracted.
I don't want it to go somewhere it's not supposed to go.
Okay.
Even if black women, the majority of black women say, I don't want a man to protect me, that does not give credence to 64,000 black missing women and girls.
Right.
That is not a good reason for them to be missing.
Well,
and so
let's go on the flip side of that. Another reason why a lot of these women are missing is because these men have incarcerated themselves and have walked away from their responsibilities of protecting these women like they're supposed to.
Right, and I think that is a lot of stuff going on, and that could be one of it.
That's a small part of it.
And there's an industry for it. Now, if the statistics are true or the information I read saying that black men are the main ones that are snatching these women, I mean, how can you be protected if that's what's going on? I don't know how true that is, because I tend to, when I hear stuff like that, I like to dig a little bit more deeper. And Dee Dee says some of these ads for sex trafficking is on Craigslist and Facebook, etc.
Yes.
And then
Facebook, no, go to Twitter. Oh, I mean, my God.
But like when you see these things, doesn't your antennas go up like, okay, these people want me to come meet them somewhere at this warehouse? For me, I'd be like, I don't think so. That sounds real sketchy.
We were talking on Friday, the Free Throw Friday, about like this book called Pimp by Iceberg Slim. He's the guy that wrote the Bible of pimping, right? Now, the key to pimping, I read the book. The key to pimping is control a woman's mind. You don't need physical violence to do that or put them on drugs. That's a weak type person.
Right.
Now, I've been to Vegas several times. You'll see the girls late at night walking, and you'll see the guy. It goes back to what she was kind of saying in that aspect of, it shouldn't come down to that. But these guys that do this trafficking, they're doing it totally wrong.
Well, and they're
giving the game a black eye.
Right. Well, the thing is this, though. Because of the women that you see on the boulevard in Vegas and all that, they are probably already in the sex trafficking industry. A lot of those women have been, as my friend was telling me, the information she got, is a lot of times these women get snatched off the street or wherever they are, and they're drugged for days and days and days and raped. And by the time they come out, and they say men too.
Stockholm Syndrome.
The same thing. It was not Stockholm Syndrome. A lot of times they're hooked on these drugs, and then they do tell them stuff like, I'm going to kill your family, this, that, and the other, get out there, and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of them are they're hooked.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of aspects to it, but... Yeah. And so Shantae says, we want a man. We just want the right man to lead us.
I find that hard to believe, but okay.
I mean, I'm a black woman. Tay's a black woman, and she's telling you that she wants a man to protect. Like, I can't think of...
Tay's got to!
But I'm saying, like y'all saying that most black women don't want protection, that's a lie. I can't think of one black woman I know saying, I don't need no man to protect me.
I'm just saying the way the culture is today, if even if it's my own spouse, I say... Woman, go get me a sandwich or whatever after working, right? I'm working in the yard, whatever. And you just direct her to do something for you. Nigga, don't talk to me that way.
Okay, well, let me tell you something, Donovan. You can't tell no woman gonna make me a sandwich.
No, I know. I didn't mean in that aspect. I'm talking about
yes, dear. I'll make you a sandwich, all right.
No, but you know what I mean? They don't want to take direction. You can't tell them anything within.
What do I always say?
What? It's delivery.
Delivery. It's about delivery.
Ike Turner had a great delivery system.
I'm going to tell you this. If you want to have a man, you wouldn't have to ask. The sandwich already be there. Now meditate on that.
A lot of women can't cook.
Meditate on that. And then he says, not all black women say they don't need a man. Black women want a man to meet us halfway.
Okay, but see, what you guys keep forgetting is this. And my problem with it, and I kind of have a problem with it too. Because I say this, you can't be a modern woman and a lady at the same time. You want me to open the door for you, right? You want me to do that.
I got it. Okay.
But yet at the same time, you can't do the things that I want. You know what I mean? You can't be both. Either you're a lady or you're a modern woman.
So you're saying more like a feminist, or
right.
Or traditional
right?
woman,
Because because my nephew would do something. Let's say he's going on a little date, whatever, and he's a little cute little guy. He goes on this little date. I tell him we'll do this, do that for her. The girl's like, no, I don't want you to. I can open my own door. You know what I mean? It's the times we live in.
He needs to keep moving till he find a woman who do want to do all that.
But what I'm saying is, you guys keep
don't settle.
Yeah, but you guys keep denying the fact.
It ain't all of us though, brother.
No.
Don't believe the hype.
You can never say all, but but what we can say is these young girls are being taught to be self-sufficient within themselves. That's what I'm saying.
Right. And Archer says, I believe many women are the way Donovan describes them, but really there must be several women out there who don't want that. Unfortunately, bad news just travels faster and further than positive news. Absolutely. And Huey, what's happening says, don't you have a YouTube I can watch? Yes, we do. The Demetra K channel and Donovan Sadiq channel. We both have YouTube channels. Yes. And Tay says, we as women, we also need to be aware of who we allow in our lives. We need to trust our gut versus opening our homes, legs, and lives to any man that shows
preach,
us attention.
sister.
Absolutely, because we see that happens a lot. With inviting anybody in, and unfortunately something happens to the kids and things like that. So no, absolutely, we got to be vigilant. And let's see here. And Al says, out here, a black lady came up missing. Let me read his joke. Oh my God. He says, out here, a lady came up missing. After she tried to sue Delta Airlines for misplacing her luggage, I have to say she lost her case. He says, fast money moves most women. $10,000 a week. I mean, and on the flip side of that, the victims of sex trafficking, because I want to always refer to them as victims. Victims, yes. They bring in a lot of money, but a lot of times they don't keep that money. Yes, you know. The same woman that my friend was referring said that she had went out to Freaknik. One back in the day when Freaknik was popping. She went out to Freaknik, her and her friend. They didn't have any money. I think they came from California to Atlanta. And so they had an idea to put on their bathing suit, jump on top of some car, and start dancing. And so she says, no sooner than they realized, a man came up to him and just dropped $800 on the hood. And, you know, like, oh, my God.
There's strings to that $800.
Didn't ask him to do nothing or any of that kind of stuff. He actually gave them a pager and say, hey, I want to keep in contact with you guys. So when I beep, call me back or whatever, you know, pagers. And so a couple days later, said the man beeped them and they called. And he says, you guys want to make some money? Told them where to meet up and things like that.
And naivety kicked in.
Well, at first... The guy told them the deal. Hey, this is what we're doing. We're sex trafficking, for lack of better words, people. So we need you guys, you two ladies and girls,
tell your stories,
to be the lure, to lure other women and girls. And so we'll give you some money. And so she said she was doing that for like a year or so. And then eventually the guy and his homie says, now it's your turn to get out there. And so she's like, no, I'm not getting out there. I'm not doing it. And they did the same thing to her that they did to all the other girls, drugged them up, you know, raped them and then put them out there on the stroll. And she was out there for like 20-something years.
Right. But see, what goes around comes around. She put girls in a victim situation.
Right. Well, she was thinking it wasn't going to be her. Right. I'm on this side, you know. And Tay says, Donovan, you have to talk to your woman, not at her. So talk to her and not at her.
Hey, the Book of Ike has guided me correctly.
Get me a sandwich.
That's right. Wait, what the problem is?
Hot grits. You want some hot grits? Not in you, but on you.
Yeah. In a nice bowl, not in my face.
All right. And Romel says, a woman is a man with a womb, so a man/woman can lead. So he's saying both can lead.
Disagree.
Tell Donovan how my mom refused to protection the other night. So he says his mom, The door rang.
Wait. Your mother's a Southern woman?
Yeah.
I get it.
The door rang and she was like, he says, Mom, let me get it. And she was like, no, I got it, you know. So they had a big round and round.
Yes.
And he finally had to tell her, you know, you're up there in age now. You can't just be opening the door.
Hey,
you know,
I have
at
the
night.
same. I have the same problem with my mom. She just thinks she's a superwoman.
And Tay says, oh, yes, you can. I can be a modern woman and still allow a man to be a man.
True, but the majority of these young girls don't do that. They don't know how to do that because they weren't taught that.
Right. Well, again, I'm still saying that I don't believe that most black women are refusing the protection of men. I'm sorry. Now, let me say this. Maybe it's most black women you have met and most black women some of you guys have met, but I don't think the majority of black women are out there saying, nah, I'm good. I'm going to just walk down this alley by myself.
D, what did I tell you? The first thing you do in the morning, I don't care where you're working, anybody that's watching this show, if you get to work early, I want you to sit in the parking lot or sit in front of the building and watch employees come in, especially the black women. You will see them look at their fist. They will come in 7 a.m. Just.
But what does that got to do with the price of tea in China? You don't know what that woman's problem is.
No, but what I'm
she might have had a man talk about make me a salad.
That's true. But what I'm saying is, you're going to find a majority of them have an attitude. I walked by a girl this morning. Wait. I walked by a girl this morning getting breakfast, and just hey, good morning.
The majority of black women you run into.
No, but look, what I'm saying is they're being taught to not be responsive to leadership.
Brother, that ain't got nothing to do with these women being snatched up wholesale.
Yes, it does. Their attitudes.
How?
Their attitudes.
So a woman's bad attitude is indicative of her being snatched up on the street?
Yes, I'll give you a better example right now. Like somebody mentioned back pages or whatever, and there was a story that they did about these women that why did they get in? Okay, you're on Section 8, you're getting your hair and nails done, and all. Rent is due.
I gotta drink me some water on this one because I'm gonna eat his lunch.
Rent is due. A lot of these girls are out there. They would rather go out there and do a trick because it's easier than going to get a job or doing. This is actually happening.
That's not all black women. That's not even a majority of black women.
Saying all. What I'm saying is this is what they are dealing with and raising in an environment.
Not a good reason for a woman to be snatched up and to have 64,000 black women and girls missing.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Ham says, I had to log on my computer for this one. Laugh out loud. And then he says, well, men forgot their places as men to properly court us.
Wrong. I have to disagree. But go ahead.
Okay.
Not all of us.
Our Arson says, replying to Dee, forgot our place. Yes, Dee, cue him in.
See, that's the thing. We keep talking about places and this, that.
But now y'all want us to have our place.
Wait. My understanding is the man is the leader. That's my understanding, but I guess you're going to get a bunch of feminists out here talking about, a woman can lead too. No, that's bullshit.
But a woman can lead
too. She can. And in my household or wherever, she can lead other women. She can't lead men.
I'm going to be quiet because you left the door open for me to say something.
That's fine. She can't lead no men. I'm sorry.
Says, didn't Salt-N-Pepa have a song called Waterman? No, it was Waterman.
What a man.
April, he says the time. Okay, so she's putting up the topic. It says the topic is black and missing. Men and women want to listen to each other. Mm-hmm. Also, if you guys are listening on the watch parties, please come on this side so I can see your comments. And Romel says courting. Who does that anymore? Laugh out loud. Ha ha ha. What it should be. And Pam says laugh out loud. Book of Ike. He wilding. Okay.
Book of Ike.
And Dee Dee says at Arson, yes, some men come with the wrong intention. Getting to know one another should come first. Absolutely.
Right. Okay. Now there are shows out there called Paternity Courts and all these little shows that are out there. I saw the what's that one court you show? That new one that you talked about?
Personal injury court.
Oh my God, craziness! But anyway, Paternity Court. You're seeing where these women are, and I got to give the judge. She's very fair about it. She was telling how these women play these games with these men. Like I said, it doesn't antiquate them getting snatched up.
I was about to say
it doesn't antiquate that. But what I'm saying is we have a generation of young girls that were raised in the 70s and beyond that took the woman out of the home and said, you don't need a man.
Right. Well.
And that's a part of the problem.
It's a part of the problem, but as I always say, where there's a single mama, there's a what?
An absent father.
An absentee father.
Yes.
And April says in New York, almost 120,000 black men between the ages of 25 and 54 are missing from everyday life. In Chicago, 45 are, and more than 30 are missing in Philadelphia. And so I think, now correct me if I'm wrong, that particular information you have, when it says, because when I saw the information, it says missing in quotation, missing mean that the black men are either incarcerated or dead or just not there, not missing like they're snatched. So is that the information you're saying? And Pamela says majority of women do not have men in the home to show them how to it can work.
Yeah.
Some do, but it's good to be able to be better when shared. So it's better when the responsibility is shared.
I agree with that. And I'm going to piggyback on that real quick because if you look at other cultures, let's say in the white culture and the Hispanic culture, the woman is taught to not be secondary, but she's taught her role in the family structure. To be the nurturer and things of that nature. So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of black women who knew and know their role. My mom was one of them. You know, and a lot of times
that's
people have a problem with the role.
Right.
But I was also taught that. I watched my mom and my father, have a conducive household. My father went to work in his business, earned the money, brought it home. My mom was a housemaker, a homemaker, if you will, raised us, made sure we were educated and the whole nine. And so I was taught that. My daughter is taught that. So well, my daughter's single, but you best believe when she does get into a relationship, she's going to know how to participate conducively in a relationship. But just to say a majority of black women, I think that's a lot bit on the stereotypical side.
No, I'm going to say majority of black women because of the statistics. 70% of black women are not married. I know you say you're going with that. The point is, what I'm saying is the numbers do not lie. They just don't.
But again...
So we're looking majority, above 50, right?
Okay, but I'm trying to... Help me out, y'all. What does that got to do with these women being missing?
A part of that is if you don't know... Like, as a man, if I tell you, hey, sweetheart, that guy's no good for you, don't go down there with your girlfriends, and you don't want to listen and you get snatched up, that's what we're talking about. They don't know not to take direction.
But do we say that same thing about white women that are missing?
Yes.
They don't know how to take direction?
Yes, those are the ones that...
you said that white women learn how to know their role.
The majority of them do. But you got those wild ones that be out there.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, since every last brother I know that was married to a white woman would beg to differ. Okay. Anyway, Didi says, at Romel, courting or getting to know us properly. And Ashante says, Donovan, where are you meeting these women? I am deeply concerned. That's what I'm saying. So is it the women you're meeting, or is it the majority of black women out there?
I just think, okay, outside of our generation, I know you're only 28, D, and Shantae's only 21. But, in my group, we were the last group to get that old school teaching. Like I said, you know how to do it, whatever. But unfortunately, there's been a whole generation from the 70s on forward that have been taught a different nomenclature of how to be a woman. And a lot of it is, you don't need no man.
Okay.
I'm going to go out here and do what I got to do. I don't have to listen to anybody. Thus, the numbers went up and being snatched.
Watch the master at work.
Go ahead.
You got your catcher's mitt?
Hold up. Go ahead.
You got your catcher's mitt.
Bare hand.
Now, you didn't explain why partially some of all these black women and girls get snatched up.
Yes.
Now, I want you to explain why it is said that the majority of people doing the snatching is black men.
Because social economic necessity puts us in a position to where we do that. Wait, let me finish.
I ain't said a word.
But you're about to say something. I was about to do my Ike Turner pimp hand down. Social economically, we rob from each other, look at our neighborhoods, whatever. We sell drugs to each other, whatever. I'm not saying neither here nor there. It's a social economic situation. So if I've got a nice potential moneymaker here, right, I'm going to take advantage of that. Why is it that a majority of women in the neighborhood, these young girls in the neighborhood, have babies by the same guy that's in prison?
Did y'all just hear this mess?
It's a social economic situation. That's why.
Okay, because on one hand, I'm going to get to these comments. On one hand, black women don't want to be, most of us don't want to be protected, blah, blah, blah. But on the other hand, black men snatching us up.
Yes.
So who's supposed to do the protecting if y'all doing the snatching?
See, you keep missing what I'm saying. No. It keeps going over your head. We're the last generation. There's been a new generation. Look at the numbers. From the 70s, when the father was taken out of the home, the numbers went skyrocketing. And it's still that way today.
I think the Achilles heel for most women not having a man is they talk entirely too much. I just never heard of a quiet woman coming up missing.
Man's a genius.
It's stupid.
Man's a
and
genius.
Bernie says, you bugging. How do you know a woman is on Section 8?
Wait, what'd she say?
How do you know a woman is on Section 8?
Wait, I don't understand the question.
How do you know? Because you said something about women being on Section 8 and all that. So she's saying, how do you know that she's on Section 8? Or any woman for that matter.
Well, I don't.
She's just going off of what you
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
Okay? And then, Jonelle, what's happening? We got some sense and sensibility up in here.
You got to look at the numbers.
Says,
look at the numbers.
I had a friend whose father and mother worked, but his funds took care of the house. Hers went to retirement.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
And then Dee Dee says, Donovan, your horns are showing. Pamela says, look at what these girls are being taught. They grow up too early.
Yes,
they do.
That's what I'm saying. Look at the numbers from the time that the father was removed from the home in the 70s to now. These kids are on something totally different than what we were raised on.
I'm not saying that the
quick money, go ahead and steal. That's okay. Do whatever.
But that's not all black people. That does not.
I didn't say all black.
Okay, but even if it's half of, I don't even think it's half of black people that are doing that to indicate that's why black girls and women are missing, because y'all hard-headed.
Right.
In addition to, you have what they say, the majority of the snatchers are black men that are doing this. Again, you can't hold the woman accountable and not hold the man accountable too.
I'm not holding the woman accountable by herself, because what did I just say? These men are just as culpable in the situation, because now that mommy raised me without my father, like you said, absentee fathers aren't around to raise these men to be men. I tell my nephew all the time, you don't move in, or my sons, you don't move in with no woman. She moves in with you. But look at the situation now. You'll see a majority of young men who ain't shit. They're living with their girlfriends or whatever the situation is. It's what I'm saying is that it's a generational thing that has changed the thing, and it's both parties are culpable.
So Al says women wouldn't come up missing if they had a man around to protect them, but she probably pushed him away. See,
Yes, brother. Yes.
I just wish that people. Because, see, I listen to Malcolm X's stuff quite a bit. And I really do wish that people would really just start to listen to those things, because even he said nearly 60 years ago. That black women are the most unprotected, most disrespected women on the planet. And it is a little bit, I'm just going to be transparent with you guys before I get you guys' comments. It is very discouraging, and I get it. It's very discouraging to hear black men talk about how black women don't want a man, or black women don't, push men away in terms that it's all or the majority of black women, when we know that is false. It is not majority of black women. And so you guys, instead of coming up with solutions, you want to continue to say, oh, well, black women and children are getting snatched up wholesale because they won't listen. That's not why it might be a little bit.
So why are they getting snatched up, D?
Well, I'm going to get to that after I get to these comments. Okay. But to try to throw a curveball and blame, because see, that's what you guys are doing, is blaming the victim. Now, as I sit and I watch these interviews of people, moms and dads who are lamenting over their children.
Go ahead, keep going.
Wait,
keep going.
That ain't got nothing to do with it. Over these, lamenting over their children being missing. I've never once heard them say, "Oh, it's because I was hard-headed," or because the girls were hard-headed. They're wanting their kids and their daughters and their sons to come back home. So anyway, Charlie says the system say to the black woman, "We will help you when you get rid of the man." The system locks up the man, and if you're poor. If you're poor, can't get bail, so the system is against black people. So we know the system has a lot to do with that, but I always ask this question, I just do. What black woman in her right mind is going to give up a black man with a decent job for Section 8 housing, food stamps, and a little bit of money? What woman in her right mind
a black woman that doesn't know any better?
I'm sorry.
That's my answer.
I'm just speaking for myself. I'm not putting my black man out the house if he's making way more money than the system is going to give me. Okay? So, but yes, we know it's systemic. We do know that. And Arson says, I'm Haitian, and traditionally, yes, the women have their defined roles. But by the way, mixing black women being hard-headed to them coming up missing is just a bit of a stretch. Donovan, come on. And let's see. Donovan, come on. But if you happen to be right for some reason, some of them, I gotta say, we got way more work to do than I thought. Yes. Just to say that, if they would listen more, I think that's a false equivalency of why these women are missing. And Phil says, we are not talking about white women. 70% is proof, and we need to rethink. We need to rethink what we do. P.S. Chinese rob Chinese, Indians rob
Indians.
Indians.
True. Very, very, very true.
Okay.
Very true.
I know we are not talking about white women. We are talking about black women. But to say that these black women are missing due to them being hard-headed, I think that's kind of that.
If I told you as a father not to go mess with Ray Ray down the street because he's a drug dealer and you do it anyway.
Are you telling Ray not to be a drug dealer, though?
That's not my son to tell him that.
I mean, but I'm saying...
But I will tell him you come into my yard.
Ray Daddy telling him that.
His daddy ain't around.
But you cannot put the onus on women and not put some of the responsibility on the men.
I want to see what the solution is.
Ray Daddy ain't there.
Right, but I want to see the solution to it.
Okay, and then Dee Dee said, that's neither here or there, Donovan. You are contradicting yourself. And Al says, keep your weave and wig on, ladies. The mugger will snatch that fake shit and you can break and run. Coming up, Mrs. Shut Up. And Tay says, I am sad that black women are being torn down and stereotyped. But you know what? That's part of the problem right there. And let me write that down so I don't forget. Because that's actually part of my problem/solution.
Write down black men being stereotyped and torn down.
Nah, nobody tearing y'all down. And Brandy says, yes, right, no woman. And then Al says, black women don't come up missing because the kidnappers know their families have no ransom money. You know what? Pamela says, black people lack a conscience. Yeah. Absolutely. And Charlie says, black people are more easy to be persuaded by money because of personal, situations.
Yes, financial situations.
I don't see any more comments here, but I will say this. So, a lot of us, I would say, are coming up missing because...
You're going to be missing after this show.
I'm going to get Jonelle's comment.
You're going to be missing after this show.
I'm going to be missing because I'm going to sweat to death. And Jonelle says, black women should feel secure around black men. And there's a difference between black men and niggas. Niggas will only invest in their self-destruction as far as women are concerned. To quote the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you can't protect what you can't control. Exactly. Our black woman is the most unprotected woman on the planet, and we both, male and female, need self-love and awareness. Our self-destruction makes us all a prey in the midst of enemies, all manner of predators. Right.
Yes.
So
I agree.
Agreed.
Wholeheartedly.
If black women are at risk, so is black men.
Yes.
But it is true. We are the most, and let me see this. Did I see another comment? And so I will say this. I think it's easy for black women to be, and girls especially, to be targeted because the sentiment about black women is, there's a lot of negativity about us. Just taking your example, they hard-headed, they don't listen. Hell, you go on social media at any given time, you'll see, black men tearing down black women. I mean, there's a lot of people, especially a lot of social media personalities who get paid a lot of money to talk bad about black women.
Yes.
And so also, people who are doing the snatching,
right,
they know that there's not going to be a big emergency outcry over black women.
Absolutely.
Yeah, socioeconomics play a lot of that into that. Fathers and moms not being good parents play a lot into that. But overall, there's not going to be a big old, cry about...
hula boo.
Yeah, somebody's, black daughter is missing. Somebody's black mama is missing.
Well, what's that? Mitrice Richardson, she went missing. That wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's still not a big deal. And they still don't know.
Who
they have
her.
a lot of clues, but nobody's really picking up on that kind of stuff. And so... it is a known fact that black women are not respected or protected by anybody. And I'll go back to Jim DeRogatis, the guy, and I don't want to get into a whole discussion on R. Kelly, but he was the guy, the reporter that was investigating R. Kelly, and he said, as a white man, he says, after all my investigation, he says, I have discovered that the most disrespected and unprotected person on the planet is the black woman. He says, because had I been writing about white girls, he said this would have been open and shut a long time ago. But he says, I can't even get people to care or to pay attention to what I'm saying is